What's up, guys? It's your boy Wild Rocky, and I'm going to be predicting day number 25 of the NHL season. There's a huge 14 games today, a huge weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun games to watch, and it's going to be a longer video, so make sure to buckle in, and let's get straight into it. I don't want to waste any more time. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe, hit the bell, and let's get straight into this video. All right, we have a lot of good matchups. The first game we're going to go over is the New York Islanders versus the Detroit Red Wings in Detroit. Detroit has been looking pretty damn solid recently, especially on home ice, and I do think they win this game against a very good Islanders team, 3-1. Up next is the Colorado Avalanche versus the Columbus Blue Jackets in Finland, and Colorado won the first game pretty convincingly with the hat trick from Ranson. And can they do it again? It's gonna be very tough to beat a team. It's tough to beat a team twice in a row anyway in the NHL, even if they're good and bad, but I do think Colorado does it. I think they win this game 4-3 in overtime. Up next is the Chicago Blackhawks versus the Winnipeg Jets. And in Winnipeg, Winnipeg is a tough place to play in, and they're actually a really good team right now, so you can't underestimate the Jets. And I do think the Jets win this game against a weaker opponent in the Chicago Blackhawks. I think the Jets win this game 4-1 on home ice. Up next is the Dallas Stars versus the Edmonton Oilers. Edmonton just lost on home ice the last game against the Devils in the late third period heroics. 2 goals in 7 seconds. That cannot happen, and I don't think they'll do that again. But the Stars are very, very good, and this is gonna be a tough matchup for the Oilers. But Oettinger is not playing, and this Dallas team is not the same without Oettinger. Oettinger is this team's backbone, right? He's the team's backbone. But I do think the Oilers win this game and get vengeance from their last game and win this game 5-2. Up next is the Coyotes versus the Capitals, which Coyotes looked absolutely horrible last game. Looked like an AHL team against the Stars, and it's in Washington, so this is a very tough place to play for the Coyotes. And I think that Washington comes home and just gets the job done 4-2 on home ice. Up next might be the game of the day, Boston Bruins versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. Bruins are unreal right now, best team in the NHL by far, 10-1, and beating some good teams. They just beat 2 really good teams in a row, Pittsburgh and the Rangers. Can they beat the Maple Leafs? This is gonna be a very high scoring game in my opinion. Maple Leafs aren't very good at defending, but they can score the puck. And I think this is going to be a first time loss in a long time for the Bruins. I know I say this every time, but I feel like the Maple Leafs are going to score on all cylinders today and win this game 5-3 on home ice. Up next is the Buffalo Sabres versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. They just played yesterday, so the Sabres did, and they did lose. So it's going to be tough back-to-back playing against the Hurricanes and Tampa Bay. So I'm going to say Tampa Bay does win this game just because I feel like the Sabres might get a little tired towards the end, and that's where Tampa Bay is just going to dominate them. And I think the final score is going to be 4-2 to the Lightning. Up next is the Philadelphia Flyers versus the Ottawa Senators. It's in Ottawa. Ottawa scores a lot of goals on home ice, but they did just give up a lot of goals against the Knights their last game. But they did score 5. So I think they do that again. I think this home ice advantage is crazy because they score 5+ goals at basically every single game they do on home ice. And the Flyers have been pretty good defensively, but I feel like this team is gonna be too matched for the Flyers, and the Senators are gonna win this game 6-3. Up next is the Pittsburgh Penguins versus the Seattle Kraken. It is in Pittsburgh. Penguins have lost 5 in a row and have not been looking good at all. We were really good at the beginning of the season, but now have not been good recently. And the Kraken have been pretty good. And they just beat a very good Flames teams as well, and the Wild team. So they've been rolling recently. But I do think the Penguins end their losing streak here on home ice and smack the Kraken 5-1. Up next is the Vegas Golden Knights versus the Montreal Canadiens. Vegas has been very good, just like the Bruins. They're 10-2, and they're one of the best teams in NHL right now. They're getting the goaltending, and they're scoring a lot of goals. But it's in Montreal. Montreal's a very tough place to play in, especially with this young roster who's quick and can score the puck. They can score the puck pretty well. But can they keep the puck in the net? I'm going to say today, yes. I think the Canadiens are going to win this game 5-2 and end the Knights winning streak. Up next is the Nashville Predators versus the Vancouver Canucks. It is in Vancouver, and Vancouver's been hit or miss recently. They did just score a lot of goals against the Ducks, but the Ducks do that a lot anyway. They give up a lot of goals. But can the Flames beat them? Predators just had a decently good win recently, but I think the Canucks win this game 3-1 on home ice. Up next is the New Jersey Devils versus the Calgary Flames. Devils have been rolling recently, very good recently. They just came back and had a huge W against the Oilers in Edmonton, which is crazy, but the Flames just lost their last game, and I do not expect them to lose this game again on home ice. I do not think they lose 4 home games in a row. I think the Devils are going to lose this game 4-2. Up next is the Anaheim Ducks versus the San Jose Sharks. It is in San Jose. San Jose just lost 2 games in a row in a shootout, I'm pretty sure. They've been looking decent, but not great. Both these teams have not been looking good, to be honest. They don't have good records this year. But I do think the Ducks come out victorious 4-3. I think this game's gonna be pretty fun to watch, actually. And the last game of the day, finally, is gonna be the Florida Panthers versus the Los Angeles Kings. It is in LA. Panthers have been pretty decent, and so have the Kings. They're like hit or miss. I think the Kings stun the Panthers here, and they win this game 5-3 on home ice. All right, guys, that is going to be this video. I know it was a long one. Thank you for being here if you made it this long. And yeah, make sure to hit the bell, subscribe, hit the like button if you guys did enjoy it all. And yeah, see you guys for a later video. Much love and subscribe, motherfuckers.